History Channel presenta las fugas de prisión más impactantes de la historia en la nueva serie Grandes Escapes con Morgan Freeman, conducida por la estrella de Hollywood ganadora de un Oscar. Esta producción de 8 episodios ofrece una mirada de los escapes de prisión más elaborados del mundo y a los principales protagonistas detrás de estas fugas, entre ellos casos de Alcatraz, Damian Mora, El Chapo Guzmán y los Pittsburgh Six. Además, recreaciones dramáticas y narraciones dinámicas y efectos visuales de la vanguardia realizados en la nueva tecnología Unreal Engine. La serie se construye a través de testimonios de prisioneros, sus familias, compañeros de celda y los guardias empleados de la prisión, que intentaron evitar estas historias de fuga. History presentó la nueva serie del evento virtual para la prensa América Latina, que contó con la entrevista exclusiva de Morgan Freeman y la participación de los productores de la serie Jeffrey Sharp y James Younger. Acompáñame a ver la entrevista que tuvimos con Morgan Freeman en este tremenda nuevo estreno de History, Grandes Escapes.
History is all around us. Sometimes it's hidden in plain sight. Other times, you have to dig a little. But it's always there, waiting to be found. Stories that ignite the imagination, inspire questions, spark ideas. These are the stories the History Channel tells best. Welcome to a world worth knowing. We're going to be on the side of the daring, the heroic effort, no matter who or what. If we see it, we're going to pull for it. We're just like, I just don't believe you could do that. And for every time you get to a point where they're stymied, they become your heroes. You know, how are they going to get around this? Because we already know they got out. Just how they did it. How, right? So we're going to stick. We're going to tune in after the commercial to see, did they really do this, and how? In Great Escape, you get an idea of how dedicated, how courageous, how ingenious people can be in desperate situations. If you tell me that you put a person into an inescapable situation and they escape, they manage to pull that off, my biggest interest is how did they do it? And my company, we have this documentary department that is led actually by James Younger and Jeffrey Sharp. They're constantly fishing around for things to do, documentaries that they can, create and present. I happen to have this reputation for presentation, I guess, and so I'm called on to be part of it. How they did it. We give you step by step the details of what they did from moment to moment, almost day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. Getting out of a maximum security prison is probably one of the most daring attempts that humans can indulge in. And the amount of ingenuity, the amount of courage, the amount of perseverance, stick-to-itivity that it takes to do something like this is probably one of the more fascinating things about human nature that we lock up in prisons. as I said before, I think it's just the audacity that it takes to pull off something like that. The amount of time that it takes, put thick outside wall, couldn't keep 3 men in. You'd have to be curious about how anybody could pull off something like that. And then once you realize that they actually pulled it off, then you have to appreciate what it took to do it. That these 3 guys pulled off. There was the major escape in World War II from the Stalag. Big movie, real ingenious, a lot of preparation, a lot of work, a lot of planning. But there was a lot of people. Money to spread around. And that money got that tunnel built. That money also had them able to use GPS positioning to put themselves in the right place under the prison so they could come up right inside of his cell. Lots of money. That's different from just doing it on your own from inside, you know. You can teach anybody how to get out of a prison by showing them, because one of the things that I think is clear is that it ain't something everybody can do. There aren't that many people with the audacity or the cleverness or the ingenuity. Me, for instance, put me in a situation like that, and that's it. That's where I'm going to be. I wouldn't, I would never dream of trying to do that. I think we need a place to house people, let me put it that way, who are antisocial. Let's say the criminal mind is primarily antisocial. But I don't know, you know what prisons are. They're not correctional institutions. They're punishment. You know, you do something bad, you're going to get punished for it. You're going to pay for it. And that you're going to lose your freedom. You lose privileges as a free human being. So, I think we need it. It's misused a lot, but what isn't?
Yo soy Morgan Freeman. Descubramos los escapes de prisión más espectaculares de la historia. ¿Y pensabas que esto solo pasaba en las películas?
Aquí es Catalina Donoso from Positive Viva, Chile.
Hello. My interest is to know about the facts. You mentioned the escape report. You mentioned you speak with the guards. But when you gather all this information, how do you manage to sort it out to make the story entertaining for the audience? So how you get the info, how do you sort it out, how you deliver?
Well,
Jeffrey, you should do that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's good old-fashioned journalism, just like you guys are doing. We ask a lot of questions. We get on the internet. We find relatives, guards, people who worked at the prison, and we just, it kind of goes back to journalism. A lot of our producers are people who, have experience in research. And so that's kind of the basis for finding out the facts and then, figuring out how to turn that into a compelling dramatic story.
Esta celda fue de uno de los narcocriminales más notorios y sanguinarios de todos los tiempos. Joaquín Guzmán, también conocido como El Chapo. El Chapo no es solo el cerebro de un cártel internacional de la droga. También es un gran escapista.
Lo que vemos es que en cuestión de semanas el Chapo armó un plan de fuga de la cárcel de Puente Grande.
Orquesta una compleja línea de vehículos lista para recogerlo después de las fugas.
Para esta fuga, sobornó a un pequeño grupo de funcionarios con la idea de que cuanta menos gente lo supiera, menos problemas habría. Y así, finalmente, sobornó a un trabajador llamado Chito.
El Chito, o el silencioso, es un cómplice perfecto, ya que, gracias a su humilde posición de conserje, está fuera del radar de los guardias.
El silencioso le abre la puerta, le ayuda a subir a un carro de ropa sucia, lo oculta y lo saca de la celda.
El Chapo sabe cuántas puertas tiene que atravesar para ser libre, pero en un punto, el Chito suelta el carro para pedirle a uno de los guardias que abra la puerta. El carro empieza a rodar hacia atrás. Por supuesto, el Chapo teme que se vaya a volcar, pero el carro se mantiene en pie. El Chito lo recoge, sale de la prisión, entra en el estacionamiento, abre el maletero de un Chevy Monte Carlo en el que el Chapo entra y el guardia de la prisión se lo lleva.
Cuenta con ventaja, gracias a que tiene a la policía local en el bolsillo. Pero las fuerzas federales se enteran de la fuga e inician la persecución.
El hecho de que escapara con total impunidad de la prisión de máxima seguridad de Puente Grande en 2001 creó la leyenda del Chapo como el inalcanzable, el intocable.
¿Y pensabas que esto solo pasaba en las películas?